I can't do this anymore. I can't try any harder. Everyone has had thoughts like these cross their mind. But is that limit really your limit? In fact, most of the limits we feel are merely illusions created by the brain. According to the latest brain science and psychology research, the human brain is designed to apply the brakes, while there's still reserve capacity in order to protect itself. For example, marathon runners can suddenly sprint in the final kilometers, because the strength conserved until then is released from psychological restrictions. In other words, limits are often not physical limits but cognitive limits. The key in this discussion is self-talk, which refers to internal dialogue, the words we speak to ourselves in our minds. Self-talk like, I can do this, I can still go on, and there's growth ahead, has the power to restructure brain circuits and expand behavioral limits. Equally important alongside self-talk are strategies that approach from both brain and body perspectives, including mindset switching, imagery training, breathing techniques, and body usage. This is not mere motivational talk, but scientifically grounded knowledge. Our perceived limits are not determined by the body, but created by the brain. This phenomenon is supported by central governor theory, proposed by South African exercise physiologist Tim Noakes. This theory suggests that the brain works as the governor of bodily functions, intentionally limiting performance to maintain life. For instance, marathon runners can suddenly sprint just before the finish line. Because physical strength actually remains, the brain simply issues stop signals early, judging that pushing further would be dangerous. In other words, when we feel we've reached our limit, our body's strength likely still remains. The brain region mainly judging that we can't go on is the amygdala. The amygdala governs emotions like fear and anxiety, creating the sensation that going further is dangerous. When stress, tension, and anxiety increase, the amygdala becomes hypersensitive and makes avoidance decisions even in situations where challenges are possible. This causes patterns like being weak under pressure or unable to take risks. Understanding that limits are also emotional responses is the first step to breaking through them. What allows us to view ourselves objectively and question whether this is really our limit is the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex handles higher cognitive functions like logical thinking, decision-making, and self-control. If the prefrontal cortex can reevaluate the amygdala's stop signal and determine, no, I can still do this, the brain's brakes can be released. Here's where self-talk becomes crucial. By recognizing that the limit you're feeling might be an illusion, created by your brain, and reframing your inner dialogue with positive words, you can activate prefrontal cortex activity. Psychologist Albert Ellis stated in ABC Theory that human emotions and behaviors are determined not by events themselves, but by cognition toward them. A represents activating events like exams, presentations, or competitions. B represents beliefs or interpretations about oneself. C represents consequences, emotions, behaviors, and results. For example, someone thinking, what if I mess up? Versus someone thinking, even if I make mistakes, trying is enough, will have completely different outcomes in the same situation. Daily self-talk influences this belief component. Another key concept for breaking limits is self-efficacy, proposed by psychologist Albert Bandura. This refers to the strength of the belief that I can do this. People with high self-efficacy tend to challenge new things, persistently face difficulties, and ultimately achieve high results. Moreover, this sensation can be strengthened through brain usage. Bandura identified 4 factors that enhance self-efficacy. Mastery experiences where small successes accumulate to strengthen the feeling that you can do it. Vicarious experiences where seeing others' successes makes you feel you can too. Verbal persuasion through positive words from others, or yourself, and managing emotional states by skillfully handling anxiety and tension. Self-talk can be broadly divided into 2 types. Instructional type gives commands like, calm down, be aware of rhythm, or do it carefully. Motivational type encourages with phrases like, you've got this, you'll be fine, or finish to the end. Using these effectively enhances brain concentration and execution ability. Research shows instructional self-talk strongly affects technical movements and is effective in sports and skill acquisition, while motivational self-talk is effective for perseverance at limits and maintaining motivation. Interestingly, using self-talk in second person rather than first person can be more effective. Instead of "I can do this," saying "you can do this" or "you've got this" works better. This technique of speaking as if to another person draws out brain objectivity and makes emotional control easier. Actually, many top athletes routinely utilize self-talk techniques. For example, tennis player Naomi Osaka has been reported to repeat the self-talk. "You can do it even during matches." Sprint champion Usain Bolt would tell himself just before races, "I'm the fastest. I'll definitely win," to create a focused state. This self-talk isn't mere positive thinking, but a brain strategy for switching neural circuit patterns. Breathing also significantly impacts the autonomic nervous system and the sense of limits. Shallow, rapid breathing activates the sympathetic nervous system, leading to tension and stress, while deep, relaxed breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, leading to relaxation and focus. Deep abdominal breathing or breathing techniques with longer exhalation, like inhaling for 4 seconds and exhaling for 6 to 8 seconds, increase heart rate variability, creating a state where you can calmly judge and act even when feeling limited. Posture is also intimately connected with brain function. Research has confirmed that hunched posture tends to strengthen negative emotions and lower self-evaluation. Conversely, taking power poses with an open chest reportedly increases positive emotions and self-efficacy. The brain backward calculates how you're feeling from bodily states. When feeling limited, deliberately straightening your spine, raising your gaze, and regulating breathing can release the brain's mistaken perception that you can't go on. The power to exceed limits already exists within you. All that remains is knowing how to draw out that power. Your limits and possibilities can both be designed by yourself. Breaking limits is not coincidence but choice, and supporting that choice is the brain, habit of daily thoughts, emotions, and actions. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button if you found this helpful.